outside, which is pretty typical for March in southern Indiana, but I'm not going fishing. Instead, I'm going to service my fishing reels, get them ready. These are the Cast King Rover 50s. I like the 50 size. It fits my rods nicely. Does a good job. So let's get started. First off, you want to take your reel, go ahead and cut your line, wind it up. You can go ahead and take your line off. It's a great time to go ahead and re-spool. I'm going to do that later. These rods have 2 lock nuts. I rather like the rods with the double locking. It kind of just helps lock everything in. It's not super important, but I do like it. Take it off the rod. This is the ones that I'm going to swap out for a single handle. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take off that screw. You can use either a Phillips or a flathead on this version. Make sure that you have the right size screwdriver. It's a great way to strip a screw out trying to use too small of a screwdriver in too big of a hole, or vice versa. There's then, see, get you framed up a little better. There you go. There's a little retainer here that keeps your nut on there. Now, I'm not a technical reel servicer, any kind of reel technician or anything like that, so don't ask me what each and everything is, but I recognize what is dirty, what needs more lubricant. I always forget these reels have a little circlip here. You probably can't see it because it's super muddy or grimy. Slide that circlip off to the side. Then you can get your a little screwdriver or tip of your pocket knife. Like all circlips, they're created by the devil. This one is particularly possessed. There we go. Best place for those circlips is on the floor. They don't need to be here on the reel. Okay, Future Nick here to tell you where I screwed up. The circlip and the O-ring below it are in fact critical to the proper functioning of your reel. So I'm an idiot. I did not think about what the purpose actually was. The purpose isn't to hold your reel handle on in the event that the nut falls off. The purpose is it keeps the main shaft of your reel in contact with a spur below it that re-engages your cast lever after you hit free spool to make a cast. So if those circlip and O-ring are not properly in place, your reel will not go back into engagement. So you'll cast and you'll turn your handle and it'll just go click, 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 and it will not engage. That's my stupidity. It's all part of the learning curve. So I'm going to show you a little more in depth of where that circlip and O-ring are supposed to be when you're finished. So right here, there's the circlip on top, and right below it right there, you can barely see it, that is the circlip and O-ring. They are in fact critical. Like I said in the video, I am not a real maintenance technician, if there is such a thing. I'm just a dude with some tools that typically gets in over his head and has to go back later and fix stuff that he didn't put together properly. But the lessons that you learn the hard way are lessons that you don't soon forget. So learn from me. There are no extra parts. They were there for a reason. See how easy that came off now? Take that little plate off. You can just see, I mean, I use these reels quite a bit, but I mean, you can just see how grimy this is just after 1 year. spin off your drag star. There will be two kind of little bent washer looking deals here. Slide them off. I recommend a little parts trays. I lose little parts. These will have kind of a bend to them. When you put them back together, you want the bends to be out. That gives you kind of a spring effect for your drag to go against. Now, with these, remember, right screwdriver. Pop the flathead in them. Loosen these. These are just a thumb lock. They actually don't even come all the way out. Just want them loosened up. And see, it'll just kind of sit there and wiggle. Then you've got another 2 screws on either side of your spool tension. Flathead works. I personally believe that flathead screwdrivers are kind of a outdated technology, but they do have their place. You can use either a size 1 flat Phillips with this or a flathead. I grabbed the flathead first, that's why I'm using it. The reel is kind of under, this cover plate is under a little bit of tension. So you want to make sure you hold it up, slide it off. These 2 springs are what's tensioning that. This reel is actually pretty clean compared to the other one. The other one was scuzzy. So I probably won't go through all the same steps I did with the other reel. The other one was malfunctioning, this one's working fine. That's your main drive gear. When you turn the handle, it turns this spindle. This spindle turns this gear, which turns this little gear, which is attached to your spool. Pretty cool. I think I'm just gonna oil it and call that good. So I'll go and take a little oil on this gear. You could probably use grease. There's probably somebody screaming at the computer right now or the phone right now, use grease, that calls for grease. These are $40, $50 reels. I'm gonna put oil on them every year and when they burn out, I'll replace them. This is another bearing here. That's a good thing to grease. That's your one-way bearing. That controls your anti-reverse on your reel. So like if your reel handle like these on these little rovers is an instant anti-reverse, that engages as soon as it kicks. As you start to try to reel backwards, it won't reel backwards. This lever switch here is for your spool release. That's where my problem was with the other reel. It was dirty. I had all kinds of dirt right in here where I'm putting this little bit of oil. Just kind of oiling anything that moves. That's already smoother. Cool. So set this down. Here on the back side of the cover, this little arbor here is where your spool rides. That's also your spool tensioner. I'm going to oil that bearing in there. And this one is ready to put back together. Just line up the 2 halves, big hole, little hole. Now, remember that's under tension, so you can hold it together. It's where these little pins do come in handy. You can thumb tight them down, hold your reel together. Then you can go back, take your screws, place them in their corresponding holes. And snug everything back up. Reel maintenance is not a scary thing. It's not a hard thing. I've neglected it for years, but once you kind of get into it, it's really not anything crazy. You can buy affordable stuff that is very serviceable. And like I said, I've had these reels, I forget, I mean, this may be the 4th year now. For the first 2 years, I didn't even do anything to them. So, I'm pretty happy with them. I'm gonna keep going with them. Remember, you've got one curve side, you want to put one curve side down, one curve side up, like that right there. Star drag. Get to a certain point, that's going to start turning your handle. So you hold on your spool. Now you've got your drag set back. This little spring. Now I'm not going to put this handle back on because I ordered power handles, which just give you, I mean, there's a little bit of a mechanical advantage to them. So if you look, I put the other one in this closest hole. So I gained a little bit of leverage, but I'm also not going to have this knob cracking me in the hand. And also the profile of the knob will help keep you from slipping off of them. So we're going to try it. And they just slide right on. You can pick either hole if you want even more leverage. I don't think I need any super more leverage. Slides right there. So right here, there's the circlip on top, and right below it right there, you can barely see it, that is the circlip and O-ring. Put your nut back on. So you're going to line up to this hole here, and you want a point of your nut pointing, indexing to it. They don't need to be stupid tight, but they do need to be fairly tight. That's pretty close. Grab your little key, put it on there, and as you can see, I'm close but not quite. Close but not quite. So I'm going to turn it just a bit more. I'm lined up. Put your screw back in there. Tighten it down. If I wasn't standing on the string, it'd work a lot better. Yeah. Super easy. Ready for another year. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is always put a little oil on your level wind. There's a worm gear here that runs your guide back and forth. I just put a little oil on one side, a little bit of oil on the other side, and then I turn it and watch it work that oil back and forth. If it's particularly dirty, I like to hit it. I've used with either carb cleaner or brake cleaner. This one isn't bad. I'm not real sure why that one was so dirty, but... And you can pop this other side cover off and have access to your bait clicker. This one's working fine. So I'm not going to mess with it. Doesn't take no time at all, and you're ready to rock and roll. So I hope you enjoyed this video. These little Cast King Rovers hit way above their pay grade. I've been super pleased with them. Just like with anything though, a little bit of maintenance, keep on top of stuff, get in there, see what's wrong. If you have something malfunctioning, you'll see it and it won't bite you in the butt later on. Thanks for coming along. I'll see you next time.